So far, NEC has been great. Everybody has been playing Ultra. They've been rather positively receiving it. I've been getting a lot of good feedback. I could see where the characters may not be as ideal as the people want them to be. And then I'm also seeing, what the general temperature is in regards to the game as a whole. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. The event itself, it's a big event, so it's ran properly. A lot of space, a lot of people. You don't have the tightness that other tournaments have had, where the hall wasn't as big as the number of people there. So overall, I'm pretty pleased. I can't say that I have any negative sentiment toward this event at all. So when I was initially approached by Capcom, it was for a position as a fighting game community specialist. In essence, I would be able to talk to the fans on behalf of Capcom and let them know what's going on, but also let Capcom know what the community was feeling, because they didn't really have anybody to fill that space. That's what I was brought on for, and I still do that I still act in that capacity to this day. It's just that with Ultra coming out, we made a big push where we collected a lot of feedback off Capcom Unity over the course of, I think it was April, where we took feedback for a month on all the characters, and I personally had to read that along with Hans and Dogtanian and also Dennis from Brazil. We went through all the feedback, worked on that together, and that really showed that, we were definitely about the community, and we were able to rightly communicate what the people wanted to see in the game and give that feedback to Capcom itself. Well, the idea here is to, leave the stronger characters intact, but there's some characters that need love. And basically, we're giving them the love that they needed, but who knows what kind of love these characters need more so than the community. So we're listening to what they have to say in regards to their character and taking the suggestions that make the most sense in the grand scheme of balance, in the grand scheme of giving their character options, the options that the top tier characters have, so that essentially all the characters become top tier. This process has been rather daunting because, not only do you take feedback from Capcom Unity, but there's also been feedback from Japan. There's been feedback from Europe, feedback from Brazil. We've tried to incorporate everybody's thoughts, looking for consistencies, looking for similarities in thought process, looking for vast differences because characters are played differently in every single area. A top tier over here on the East Coast may not be so top tier on the West Coast because there's nobody to specialize in that character and exploit the tools the character has. So, you have to read what people are talking about and see what makes the most sense. And the most daunting aspect of everything is keeping a sound judgment, because a lot of people get mad when they don't get exactly what they want in particular. But what these characters are is they're being given the tools that have been requested by the community as a whole. So the person may not get the individual tool set that they want, the exact tool set, but you better believe they're going to get some of the things they requested. It may not be everything on their laundry list, but they're definitely getting some of it. I would say that one of the characters that has changed quite a bit is Balrog. And that's because his overhead punches, they now have different frame data on block and on hit. And he has different charge time on his overheads. And that's because Balrog conceptually has had so many tools, but outside of his low jab, his straight dash punch, and his headbutt, you don't really see much. He's kind of typecasted into a defensive character, whereas in ST, he was very offensive. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to kind of change it and have him be more offensive. He still maintains his strong defensive nature, but he could touch that ST side, the side that people have come to know, love, and want to see. He can now play that. And he's one of the characters that have been changed probably the most. Basically, Capcom Cup is a Capcom-centered fighting game event where we're celebrating our games. We're celebrating the community. We're celebrating people who like fighting games. We're giving people the greatest spectacle they could see, which is a battle of the world's best and each respective game. With, every game had its own different qualification set, but that was due to each individual game's community having its own strong identity. With Street Fighter, all the world warriors, that's pretty much what they are. Everybody is pretty good somewhere. There's somebody who's a legend somewhere, and we wanted to celebrate that, bring all of them in one place, have the best of the best battle. With Cross Tekken, you had the online warriors. They've been keeping the game alive. it's been the first time that the online community may be stronger than the in-person tournament community, and we wanted to celebrate that and have a battle of the best and see which community actually is the strongest. And then Marvel being the most hyped game out, we definitely want to make sure that fans were pleased. Fans are entertained by the matches that are going to happen. So we asked them to select players they'd love to see, and they spoke with their votes. So basically this event will be a celebration of our fighting games. It'll be a celebration of the community. People will be able to, see our sponsors, see people who make products celebrating Capcom fighters, and it'll just be an excellent show. For Street Fighter, I really like watching Xian play. It's super technical, so it's super fun to watch. I also like Sako. I mean, they're people with high execution. They're always near and dear to my heart, just because they do stuff I can't. So I just like to try to live vicariously through them in their hands. For Marvel, I mean, it's the same suspects as usual, but I want to see Nemo in a capacity where he's only playing the highest level of competitors. At EVO, there was a lot of people he wasn't aware of, and there was a lot of pressure on him. Now he's going up against 7 other potential opponents, and he could do his homework on them, and also, play in a less pressured environment. I mean, there's more pressure, but it's less because you don't have to deal with the random factor. And then with Cross Tekken, I like Seth. I like Seth LOL, and I'm glad that he qualified. I want to see him do well, and I also want to see the Zombie Driver, because I keep hearing so much about him, and I want to see how well he could do. What I miss the most about competing is competing. I miss sitting next to a person and feeling their aura, how they're thinking, seeing the little mannerisms on their face as they're getting served, or, like how they react to certain things. I miss that the most because, there's nothing like a good read and the opponent confirming that it was a good read by them saying something or acting out. I also love the crowd when they used to scream and go ooh and ah and all that. I found that extremely entertaining. So here I am entertaining them, and they're entertaining me. It was quite symbiotic. But, unfortunately now I have to work from behind the scenes, but it's for the greater good. My entertainment has moved from the front now to the background. And I mean, I'm still working for you guys, just in a different capacity.